Hi everyone. So I just want to spend a little minute to thank you for every support that you give me for the very first video. It means a lot. And in this video, I'm going to show you the trace breakdown, how I passed my first phase of Myforexfunds, and it's 600k account. And I think it's gonna be quite boring video because I don't want to talk a lot about technical analysis because I believe that everyone trade somehow in a very different way, but eventually it's more than just technical analysis that bring us success at the end of the day. So because I want to talk more about the psychological factors and mindset and my my views about forex funds as well, but because the trace breakdown already quite long video already, so I think I'm gonna split it to two part. Okay, don't let you waiting. Enjoy the video. Thank you again. This is slide execution on Go, my forex fund 300k account, and I do two challenges at the same time, which is which is around 600k. So the profit target is around 24k, and I am at around 21k already. So I am expecting a big fat candle to the upside, and then I'm gonna close all trades, and then we're gonna go into detail of every trade and how I pass my forex fund 600k. Well, it may take a while because it is live market condition, so I may have to speed up the video a little bit. Okay, profit target done. Now let's get into the video, shall we? Here is the trade's history. Okay, it took me a few days. There are a lot of losses. That's all about risk management. So in the first account, you can see that I reached my profit target here. That is trading history. It took me around a few days. There are drawdowns, they're up and down, but eventually we get there. And I think I will have an upgrade button enable soon at 540. Okay, so that is 600k. Here is their history. A lot more. Okay, so trading days. Okay, I think that's quite transparent enough. Let's go. And so the first trade is a long on Bitcoin against USD in London season, and the result is 1.12 risk reward ratio, and I risked around 6 grand, and I got around 6,700. Really tired reading the number. Okay, let's go into the analysis part. Here is the trade. So let me we have a price holding here around this 1 hour's order block, this right here. So when price reaches consolidation around this 1 hour's bullish order block, and up here we have a this candle as a displacement. So for me this one is 1 hour bearish order block. By the way, I am influenced by ICT concepts about the smart money things. So I view market ways that are quite similar. I'm not sure if it's the same to him, ICT himself, but for me, it's making sense. So when I see price consolidation between this 1 hour order block and this 1 hour order block up here, it's consolidation. And then let's zoom in into 15-minute chart to see the context. So when price take out the buy side liquidity right here, create displacement and take out this sell side, this swing low. So when I see this movement, I suppose that if price is in the sales model, it's supposed to break this one and this one as well. Unfortunately, price holding here. After taking this sell side liquidity, it holding here and it pushes price higher. When I say it pushes price higher, will I buy? No, I wait. I want to see this swing. I want to see if this swing can hold the price and if it can create breakout structure. So the first thing, can it hold the price? Yeah, it did right here. Price holding at around 1, 2, 3, 4 candle. It couldn't go lower. That is the first signal. So actually, this is an optimal trade entry for me. For more confirmation, when I see the price, it actually get up quickly and it go here. So when I see price create another confirmation, which is a breakout structure, and have this fair value gap right here, I wait for the price to actually retrace around near this fair value gap. I have an entry, and then I target around this high, around this fair value gap. That's where I target. And price actually go really near this target, but it didn't hit the target. And it immediately collapsed. And price consolidation around this region. But because on 2 p.m. New York time, I think having some kind of FOMC news or something. So I called the trade early and got only more than 1 hour instead of getting the full 3 hour at 1 p.m. But so that is quite unexpected, and I have to interfere the trade manually instead of just leaving the trade run on its own. But that is the first trade. I don't want to talk a lot about technical analysis, but let's zoom into the second trade. The second trade, because the first trade I win, so the second trade I keep the same risk, which is 6,000. Okay. Euro again, Canadian dollar. Well, this trade as this column, the float is 2. That means I open that trade the same time as this trade. And when I using the orange color, that means that I risk more than I should. The second trade, if I open the 2 trades at the same time, then in my risk management plan, I need to cut the risk to half, which is 3,000 instead of 6,000. But I opened 2 trades in a row, different pair, and then using the same risk. So basically, I violated my risk management rule. And here's a trading chart that I trade, because I saw on a 4-hour chart price practice low, having a fair value gap right here, price trade up into this fair value gap, check out this buy side liquidity, and then immediately create a very bearish candle. So I just instead of waiting for more confluence or more or using say better stop loss, maybe this right here. I actually just in the trade right here because I saw this candle have such a huge push to the downside, so it's just more like momentum. So I in the trade right there, using take profit here, stop loss here, 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, and price push up, I lost. And when price were right here, I realized that I was wrong, so I just closed the trade early, and I take another hit. So from 7 grand I down to here. It's negative profit, and that sucks. And I think this trade I checked another loss, but I did record it here, so it's pretty hard for me to actually check it back. But I think it is just the same trade because they are on the same day, so basically it's the same. Maybe just similar entry than this one. But this one I follow risk management rule. I cut down risk to half, and I stay there until I win. So on the next day, euro against Canadian dollar, I got 3R, pretty good. I reached 3,000 and I got 9,000. Bring my account back to life. Now, what it look like? Here is what it look like. It basically the same trade of this one. You see? So basically, this trade, my buyers was right. It's just that I having a bad entry. So when the next morning when I see price consolidation around here, well, using the same buyers, the same thing I just talked about this trade, the same target, even short the target, I enter the trade right here and should try market to the downside and got my 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. I really don't want to talk really deep technical analysis because that's not really the point of consistencies. Okay, the next thing is when I win. Now look at this. When I win this trade, I resume my risk. I upgrade my risk to 6 grand again, which is my standard risk. And when I this set is a second trade. When I using this is a 2 winning in a row. This is the second trade after the first win, and this is the third trade after the second win. So on this one, I risked 6,000 and I got 3R again. Bring my account back to really high, 20,000 profit. Okay, on a trade plan, let's look at it. Here, very basic. On go. Okay, let me try to go into the chart. So the next trade we want to talk about is go, and maybe it's the last trade I talk about. Okay, on trading plan, you can see this. Here is how I just using TradingView to actually see the chart, so I can come back to it later. But most of the time, I focused on detail on my daily reflection, which is video analysis instead of just chart markup. And okay, so let's go into the chart. Here is a chart. So this is actually the trade that I took. I entered the trade around here, and I try it quite fast into profit target. See this? Okay, so this is the first thing we need to look at. This is a 1 hour, for me this is 1 hour order block. The boost order block. So when price try to, and here we have a fair value gap as well. So when price go here as this structure, price have a tendency to actually push up. Let's go here and push up. Let's go here, push up. Go here and push ups again. So eventually a consolidation a little bit, and then we have a displacement right here. After taking out this short-term high, it create displacement, break of structure. Now when I see this, what I want to see next is that price come here and decline. Let's go into say 5 minutes, so it's easier to see the story behind. So this is what we saw on the 1 hour chart. Price coming up there, immediately go back into this value gap and create displacement to the downside, practice short term low as well, even practice one. So when I see this, I wait for an opportunity to short with the flow, with the momentum. And I think I shot out right here. I target this region, which is for me a very, very possible to for price to actually reach there. This is 1 hour's order block. And this one, however, is a fair value gap, which may be a low liquidity run to the downside. So When I see this, I took this shot, price really just keep pushing to the downside, impulsive mode, and I take profit. This trade is set and forget, and it got to the profit target within 1 hour. 1 hour. Okay. So that is the last trade that I want to break down. So basically, what I trade is quite basic. If you learn the inner circle trader, if you learn about his 2022 mentorship, you may have some kind of idea about how market move or something like that. But eventually, doesn't matter who you learn it from. It eventually comes down to you to practice, and maybe you may trade differently, or you're using a different trading model. It doesn't mean that you will fail or something. I mean, it's almost impossible for you to copy someone's strategy and trade exactly like them and then took exactly the same entries every time. It's impossible. And that's reason why I don't really want to talk about trading system, because I believe trading system is not the holy grail. It's not something that you should focus too much of your time. Now looking at this spreadsheet. I do daily reflection every trading day, and today I should pass the challenge with profit target riches. And my risk management plan is basically something like this. It's basically just like this. I think it is something like this. If I lost this one, I cut my risk to the half, and I should keep trading the same risk all the same until here, until I got a winning with 3R, and then I raise my risk back to 6,000. If I lost again, I cut my risk to half right here. Risk 6,000, I lost, I go back to 3,000 risk, I lost, stay the same, and right here, when I open two trades at the same time, I'm using the same risk. So if I open one trade with 6,000 and I want to open the next trade maybe somehow because the trade is really good, then I should can using 3 grand on the second trade. But right here you can see I suppose to risk 3,000 because that is a second trade. But I was kind of aggressive and didn't respect my rules, so I risked 6 grand, the same as the first one. So I have a like 2 trade this double risk. That's quite risky. But if you look at this, my winning percent is quite low, and I lost like I go up and then I go down, and then I almost here. Here is where I think that the next trade I just need like below 1R. Here 6 grand, I just need to win like 4 grand, and I'm good. But then I lost, and then I lost again, and then I come back to this number. And when you really nearly achieve to something and then it just drop, you may mentally fail. But if you stick to the rules, stick to your risk management, and when the profit, when your trade performs just as it should be, then you go back to where it should be. So risk management is something really important. I don't know how to emphasize it, but it's like the role of market is trying to pull you out of the path that you are traveling, and the path is created by your trading system combined with your trading risk management plan. And your job as a trader is trying to stay there in the path, and it doesn't matter that how hard it hit you right here. You stick to the risk management that you plan. Maybe you can change your system, you can change your risk management plan, you can change whatever you want, but you don't do it while you are trading. While you are trading, you don't do it. You do it before or you do it after the challenge, but you don't do it during the time you do your challenge. It just didn't make sense.